Ukraine has been building on its victory plan for the incoming Donald Trump administration, highlighting potential business deals, access to raw materials, and troop deployments in an effort to sway the famously transactional U.S. president-elect, writes the Financial Times. Ukraine's allies in Europe and the U.S., including senior Republicans, have offered advice on how to best frame proposals that incentivize close cooperation with Kyiv, rather than cutting off critical aid to the country, said Ukrainian and European officials. The proposals stem from concerns among Ukrainian and European officials that Trump could move quickly to seal a peace deal with Russia, in effect torpedoing Western support to Ukraine. Two of the ideas were laid out in Volodymyr Zelensky's victory plan, with Trump specifically in mind, said people involved in drawing it up. The proposals were later presented to Trump when Ukraine's president met him in New York in September. One idea would replace some U.S. troops stationed in Europe with Ukrainian forces after the war. The other, first devised by Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, a Trump ally, according to people involved in designing Zelensky's victory plan, suggests sharing Ukraine's critical natural resources with Western partners. Graham's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Trump was interested in the 2 points, said a person briefed on the meeting. Separately, business leaders in Ukraine are also talking with the government about offering Trump investment screening powers, allowing him to essentially choose who can do business in the country. One person involved in the planning described the idea as ABC, anybody but China, which could play especially well with Trump. Ukrainian industries dependent on Chinese technology and materials, such as telecoms, according to the person involved, could switch to U.S. suppliers and attract more Western investment. The idea is in the early stages, but some business leaders close to the president's office believe it could play well with Trump. Zelensky last week said he had a great initial phone call with Trump following his re-election. But Kyiv and its allies fear the U.S. could still wind down its military support after the Republican takes office in January, the officials said. Ukraine and its allies are worried Russian President Vladimir Putin, buoyed by Russia's advantage on the battlefield, could press a hard bargain and prompt the U.S. to accept a peace settlement that ends the war on terms favorable to Moscow, the officials added. The first who blinks loses this game, said a person involved in forming Ukraine's pitch to Trump. Putin believes he is on a good track right now and can get all that he wants.
We had a very nice call. He congratulated me on his victory. He just won.
A Chile's battalion within the 92 Assault Brigade destroyed a Russian BM-21 Grad MLRS. Destroying more Russian Grad multiple launch rocket systems is crucial for Ukraine's strategy. These systems are capable of launching rapid, devastating barrages that can inflict severe damage on Ukrainian defensive positions and civilian areas. Occupied Abkhazia rebelled against the ratification of an investment agreement with Russia. Echo of the Caucasus writes that mass protests began after the signing of an agreement that allows Russian companies to implement investment projects in the unrecognized republic. The opposition criticized the document, fearing infringement on the rights of local entrepreneurs and the strengthening of oligarchic groups. The so-called authorities call the protests illegal mass unrest. Military equipment has been brought to government buildings. China just held its largest air show and showed off some of their brand new fighter jets to take on the West. Here's a story covering everything you need to know that happened. China's brand new next-generation jet. For the first time, China's fifth-generation J-35 stealth fighter jet took to the skies. Some things to know. This jet is lighter, faster, and smaller than the older version, the J-20. This suggests China is focusing more on stealth than attack capabilities at the moment. Experts are comparing this jet to the American F-35 Lightning fighter jet. But the number 35 next to the designation letter shows that China still can't hold off its copycat policies. China's new version of its J-15 fighter jet, the J-15T. They flew one of the original J-15Ds and two of the new J-15Ts. The new version, the J-15T, is the carrier version and is capable of using the catapult to take off. This means the jet will be able to operate on any of China's aircraft carriers, and not just the ones with a ramp rather than a catapult. China's new air defense system. Although it's not a fighter jet, China used the air show to unveil their latest long-range air defense system, the HQ-19. According to reports, experts are comparing this to the American THAAD system worth $1 billion each, of which some have recently been given to Israel. So China is not only upgrading their fighter jets, but they're also upgrading their air defense systems. China's new high-altitude drone, the SSUAV. This drone is also being nicknamed as High Sky, as it can fly at incredibly high altitude. This drone is massive for one particular reason. This drone, unlike Western drones, is capable of launching swarms of smaller drones. Each of those smaller drones can gather intelligence or can launch attacks. To me, it appears as if these are all based on Western technology, whether it's the J-35 that looks almost identical to the F-35, or the HQ-19 that looks and works the same as the THAAD. It seems China has got their hands on Western technology and has replicated it. When I listen to Putin, I hear the voice of Hitler. If he succeeded in Ukraine, around the world, it would look like the West had been defeated. It was the extinction of democracy. Boris Johnson on GB News.
And when I listen to Putin talking about Russian language speakers in parts of Ukraine, the need to take over that country, I hear the voice of Hitler. I hear it's exactly the same argument. And be in no doubt that if he were to succeed in Ukraine, that country would be turned into a vassal state of Russia. It would cease to have any democratic independence, and around the world, it would look like the West had been defeated. It was the extinction of democracy. By the way, I see the same.
And Russian propagandist Soloviev is proving Johnson right. Not just Ukraine, Germany also shouldn't exist.
Of course, you cannot find a more ungrateful nation than this. I mean, the very existence of a unified German state is solely thanks to the Soviet Union and Russia. The very existence of the German state as such after the Second World War is personally thanks to Stalin for leaving it in any form. Gorbachev's personal folly was uniting the two Germanys. Everyone was against it. You realize that Gorbachev was always wrong, but Stalin missed something too. Well, there would now be 156 electorates, principalities and other things, and they would be doing quite well.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.